If I had a nickel for every time I heard someone say something about having a face for radio, I'd have
At least 2 nickels.
at least 2 nickels.
Which is
I'd
not
have
a
an extra
lot.
nickel from today.
But it's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah. I remember the first time you had ever told me the 2 nickel thing. It was about the goalpost. Because you cleaned out their, what was it, their Michelob Ultra supply?
I had a very
Twice?
particular type of Michelob Ultra I enjoyed drinking, and the goalpost could not keep up. Based on the amount of proximity I lived to the goalpost and how often they would restock my certain type of Michelobs, we just had a real conflict of interest there.
A real conflict of interest at the goalpost. Dude, look at the footage that we got on the TV right now.
I think those are Maasai giraffes.
How do you know how specific the giraffe is?
There's only a few types of giraffes.
What are they?
I think reticulated is one. You can tell based on the shape of their spots, more rectangular. And then the Maasai is more like modular. It's a less angular.
I guess so, man. Now we got a wolf up there. Are there wolves in Africa?
I think we're just scrolling through random wildlife.
Is this YouTube or what are we watching?
Yeah, I just put on like a 9-hour loop of wildlife footage.
I might need you to send me this. I
think that could be arranged.
I think that could be arranged.
Oh,
My YouTube,
monkey.
we got an orangutan. Either way.
You know.
I know what you're talking about. Hand them over. Okay, well, I guess we're officially recording now. We have been for about a minute and a half, but this is, what's today? Wednesday, February 8th.
February 8th.
2023. You don't
That's
even have
right.
a watch on. You were able to know the day. I guess.
I know. I have a job, so it really...
I have a job, too.
It helps out with knowing that.
That's true. But, you work like a regular Monday through Friday job.
That's right, yeah. We deal with a lot of dates, a lot of deadlines, contract work, dealing with people, that kind of things.
And
Lots
buildings.
of paper, printing,
We got a
pens,
ladybug, sorry.
notebooks, writing things down, that kind of job.
I really don't even write too much stuff down. A lot of it's on a computer. Well, I have to sign my name on a sheet every day I go into work. I don't really have to, but I do it so people know I'm there and I read the paper. So we have an agenda every single day.
You have a paper trail is what you're saying.
Yeah, there is a paper trail for me, so people can find me. They can find my signature. I have a signature down pat now. I think you've seen it.
I think I have a physical record of your signature, if you'll look up there on my Skybar poster.
On the Skybar poster. Wait, where?
Up top?
What am I not seeing?
By the Braves?
I see it up there. When did I sign that?
Look, time is infinite.
I see that up there, but dude, I have no recollection.
Could have been any time.
Was that World Series night? Is that what that is?
That is from the World Series. That is the official poster announcing the specials for Skybar on the
weren't
night
even
of the World
at
Series.
Skybar.
We made it to Skybar, lest we forget.
Are you talking about on the night they won?
On the night the Braves won the World Series in 2021, after rolling tumors, we moseyed on over to the cafe.
I was not a part of that.
You were part of the adventure, though. You were there when we won, right?
I was there
With
in
Rube
17,
at
16 because that was that's one of my favorite quotes from senior. That's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying. All right, we were all watching the game, and I think it was like Harrison, Mr. Harrison Tar, Mr. Podcast
Tar Monster.
himself. And
College Loop.
I was like, that's the one. Shout out College Loop. I was gonna take a video like as they won, and Root was like, "Put your phone down, kid. Live in the moment." I was like, "Damn, that was
dude." Root
that
would
meant
have
a
been
lot.
livid if he had been in the Staples Center last night.
What was in the? LeBron.
Yeah.
Everyone was on their phone. Is that
Chairman LeBron?
Chairman.
All right.
The guy that controls the
Sufficient
NBA.
enough for a cold open, I would say. Good evening, JP. So good to have you in my humble abode. Sorry I caught you mid-sip there.
No, you're
but it's,
good. That's what we're here for.
I'm
We're
happy
here for big sipping.
to be a stop on the JP Mardi Gras World Tour, I think we're calling it.
I guess. The quarter life crisis. Root actually came up with that one, like in our first recording.
Dude, he's an enigma, man.
He really is,
It's
dude.
It's just an endless bucket of good ideas.
Endless bucket
You go down
of good
there with that,
ideas, good times.
Get a scoop, thinking it'll be dry every time.
Scoop of what, dude?
Good ideas. That's what I'm saying.
We got another monkey on the TV. Is that a gibbon? No, that's not a gibbon.
That is a New World monkey, but I don't think it's a given.
That was the one that
We
we
got
saw
some-
walking backwards
some
at the
zebra
Montgomery
ass.
Zoo.
Now, let me tell you about the time we made it down to the Montgomery Zoo.
Dude, the Montgomery,
Montgomery
Zoo.
Zoo was an enigma as well because we were looking for the ghost of the forest, the bongo.
I found it, or we all
You found it, but it was quite elusive for some time. We were hanging out at the bongo enclosure, just looking for this thing,
It was like right below us the whole time.
and it was silent as a ghost. As
was.
the placard described.
The Ghost of the Forest.
Ghost of the
there's
Forest.
a little baby monkey on the TV now. I think having something on the TV in the background is.
Don't let this
gonna be the
distract you
move.
now.
I can't help
This
it,
isn't the
dude.
monkey cast.
Animals are all we're monkeying around. Monkey business? Is that still allowed in 2023?
I think, yeah. You can get
I
up
think
to,
in
you can
this
get up to some monkey
context, it's
business.
fine. Yeah. Quarter life crisis, February 8th, 2023. You know, I like to think that I have a lot of ideas when I go into recording things like this, but I really just like to chat and have a good time.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Talk about the origin stories.
Interesting people.
Of how we got into Weagle. I guess you can go first because we'll get into mine. Mine's going to be big details because you know the origin story
Big
for
details.
me.
Dense,
Detail.
heavy.
Go ahead.
Thick details. Believe it or not, Weagle is one of the formative moments of my college career. I did it all 5 years I was in college. And
Cinco.
it's pretty illustrious, I must say. And it all really started, I was going into school. I knew very few people at school despite living so close to where I went to school. And then I didn't have a ton of friends my first year, honestly. I would really just hang out with my one roommate who I knew from high school, my one roommate who was a random picked by the apartment complex, and then by extension their friends. So I was and then just compared to where I ended up in college, I feel like I was way less social, way more secluded to myself.
Going in?
Back in the day. Yeah, I was so happy. I don't know if I was happy being alone, but I was alone a lot more often. Like plenty of nights spent in, plenty of time just alone in my room. And then Weagle began to alleviate that a little bit. Now, I'm not going to say it was overnight because it was a long process involved in, kind of changing the culture, as we like to say.
Oh, we really did,
shifting the culture. But as far as what got me into college radio and just like evidence of that all around my apartment, just looking around, just like all these relics I picked up.
Oh my God!
As a result, yeah, I've been rearranging my knickknacks recently, so we're kind of in a.
You are the knickknack man too.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
You got all types of stuff.
We don't have that kind of time. But
dude, we got all the time in the world. I can cut this into 2 episodes if we need to.
You say that now, but
it could be
the
extra.
knickknack treasure trove extends to far beyond.
You're about to get a new one
room.
too.
Oh yeah.
You got that the coaster. It's really not even a special coaster. I was just like, that's the perfect thing.
I got a French
to
press
add
on
to
the way
this.
too. So I mean, like, no end to the knickknack debauchery. All right, so getting into school. All right, I used to live at a apartment complex that was
the Grove,
not close enough to campus to walk unless you missed the bus and you were really desperate, which only happened 2 or 3 times. But I was a frequenter of the El Tigre Transit, which is our orange and blue bus that used to take us around college, and I was fortunate enough to be on the tail end of the West Campus route, or the wet campus route, as I like to call it.
The wet campus route?
Campus.
Why was it always like that?
I'm just saying.
Sorry. I can't help but get... Oh, is that a red squirrel? Dude, okay, I'm going to keep getting distracted by this, but I love it because it helps me just kind of start going on riffs.
That's a caracol, baby.
Oh, dude, those things are so
lynx.
cool. Or whatever.
What I'm saying, it's a big cat. It's a big cat.
Big cat on the screen.
All right. So I used to live... Yeah, at the end of the West Campus, which was great when you were going to campus because it was one stop, you got on, and then it was 2 stops later, you were dropped off. But leaving school, which I didn't even figure out until like 4 months in, you had to be on the bus for a damn half hour to get home.
Yeah.
I just started walking. Like that walk-in, and then that was my time to like call my relatives because it was like downtime,
It is.
Getting sidetracked, of course. The Tiger Transit is a crucial part of the story, though, because back in... year of our Lord 2017, when I was at my first year of college, WEGL took out a very prominent ad on the side of some of these Tiger Transits.
They had an ad. I didn't even know they had an ad on the side.
You know how the Tiger Transit, each one of them has an advertisement on the side. Back in my day, there was an advertisement for WEGL, and I was like, that's very interesting. And, being a guy who lived off campus and ate out a lot and went to the grocery store a lot, I threw it on in my car, and I had a good friend that was also my roommate that would ride around with me a lot. And, God love you, Weagle. We listened to it all the time, and we were like, this is terrible.
You're right,
We could do this. Like, the barrier to entry is so low. We could do this. And my good friend and roommate, we were self-proclaimed thoughtful guys,
You're talking about you and Justin?
Justin, yeah. OG Justin.
The
who
OG
I went to high
Justin.
school with. That's a hyena.
Yeah.
Who I went to high school with. He's my first year roommate. And yeah, we had a lot of discussions. Justin and I disagreed on a lot of things philosophically, but that we did not let that hamper our friendship, and we actually really prided. Is that the past tense of pride? It's not proud. Prided ourselves on the ability to have civil discourse. And
y'all missed it, but he just did the whatever. I can't even describe it by talking about it. Which led this man into starting his first show.
Civil discourse, and maybe even in a small space. You could even
call it. What would you call it?
Yeah, you might even like condensed or like truncated. I don't know. There's maybe a good word.
I know
for
you're
it.
Dancing around the word for it.
There might be a good word for it. We might get to that, but
it's something that starts with a C.
We had really good discussions, and I thought that that this was in 2017. There was a guy that used to run our country at the time that a lot of people were not too thrilled about, but. And I feel like that was fuel. It was a very interesting time politically. So as a result, as two guys with very different political views who were able to have such civil discourse, and I think to us the conversations were very entertaining. We thought, why not translate this into a little bit of entertaining talk radio? And so we walk into WEGL, or Justin does, and Justin was also involved with the Plainsmen, and without him this whole thing doesn't really get off the ground, because I'm not much of a self-starter. I kind of have to be goaded into things. I'm kind of a naysayer, as it were. Yeah.
Nay, they may say.
So
say they may.
Justin was all over it, and he got us in the front door, and we trained with our we kind of just alluding to how dysfunctional the system was at the time. We go in there and we just get trained, and we're on the air, 2 weeks later after taking the DJ test, and we're doing our first show, and it's in the old weird studio. We had nobody was listening except for our friends, and really it was a interesting time. We had to prepare, because you get in there and you're paralyzed with fear.
I was. Justin was my first. He was the guy that put me on the air.
The light comes on, and then it's just like hot mic, like we're doing right now, and it's going out. You can't stop it. So we're dealing with that, and you get used to it, but it does come with time. And so that was the story of my college radio. And slowly but surely over the years, between meeting people and
you rose to the top, man. I think you had one of the most listened to shows by senior year. Well, you had the most consistently run show.
It very well could be. Yeah. Well, I mean, skipping over a ton of the cultural and frankly probably uninteresting to the casual observer details of it. What we had was a situation where I slowly got assimilated through. It was Justin became news director. I wanted to get a staff position. I wanted to be marketing director because I kind of liked doing graphic design, and I kind of knew how social media worked, but honestly, I'm really glad I didn't get that position in the long run, because I don't really know how to run a social media
production
page.
Director was the perfect job for you.
And so yeah, we had an availability. The station manager at the time, I think my second year, he tells me over the summer, hey, our production director stepped down. We need someone to fill in. Basically, this is a de facto interview. If you want the job, you've got it. Just because I had been acquainted with him and been on his show and gotten my chops on the
gotten the chops, get your wings, man.
There's nothing better than just getting experience. No amount of training or writing scripts or anything is going to get you more psyched up than just sitting down in front of that microphone and riffing with your buddies,
That was one of the best quotes I remember. You told me that this is one of the best things you heard, and you saying it made it one of the best things I heard about, I think, the locksmith himself. I feel like, I think we can name drop. I mean, we're shouting him out.
We said College Loop. They can connect the dots.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't even Harrison Tar we're talking about. We're talking about Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel's on a College Loop.
Oh, wow. I just got exposed.
He couldn't connect the dots. Yeah.
I just got exposed.
Smarter than JP.
Sorry. All I do is I see it on social media, man. Only podcasts I listen to are comedy podcasts.
Hilarious. And I guess you won't be listening to this one.
This one's not even a comedy podcast, man. This is just me doing my thing.
Stone
just
cold.
Talking.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
seriousness
stone cold. I do have a blue moon under a blue moon.
So what we're saying here is what I'd like to say. I'd like to tie this into a bow and say that, as I became on staff, as I realized that, these are my people. This is where I need to be. I was really shut off from the world and really secluded to myself. My first half even of my, even a little bit as a member of the college radio, just being able to be open with people, have a creative outlet, and discuss in a manner that was conducive to a good conversation. I think that really helped me grow as a person and also make good connections that are just beyond surface level in a way that can't be replicated just with I'm sure it's honestly it's probably what it feels like to be on a competitive sports team at a high level is what I think. You know, you get that
being a part of the family like that.
You get that camaraderie that can only it's one thing to be like good buddies with somebody and have a good time going out and doing surface level activities, but being a part of a group project in a macro scale, and we were part of an organization that was working towards a collective goal. We were all pulling the same rope.
It was bigger than just us having fun. It was about continuing something that had been going on for almost 50 years.
Yeah,
so 52 this year.
So moving how do I Compact Discourse falling off a little bit as I grew into understanding what I wanted to do as a member of the organization, and then getting it back once it was almost like a redemption arc. It was like I failed at figuring out what I wanted to do as part of my college career, and then I took 2 years, 3 years, figured it out, built relationships, tried, failed, struggled, understood, and then came back and created a product that I could really be proud of and that I can pass on. And honestly, like, I get to drive home from work every day and listen to like a show that I created.
Yeah.
And that's like mind-blowing.
The CD of today.
That's like they're reading my intro, like the music I picked out. It's the logo I designed. I'm looking at it, my car stereo. It's like, it's like,
yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
It's unbelievable.
Man.
So
that's a beautiful thing.
If I have nothing else from my college career, I have that.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks for me that the Woodstock Hour didn't get continued, but I'm honestly really at peace with that because of how it ended. Yeah. Because the ending, bro, that 6-hour finale, I think that is the best possible exit I could have had. You contributed to that.
Oh,
well, let me talk more about
yeah, I mean,
your
just
role
to put a bow on
it.
that, that's a very like truncated story
compacted?
of my compacted, if you will, story of my. And had I prepared a little more for this, had I known we were going to be talking about this, I probably could have made some bullet points.
Dude, you got through a lot of stuff.
Organized the timeline. Yeah, I mean, it's something I think about. So there's a narrative there that I wish I could capture a little bit better, but. On the long run, that's kind of what I wanted to get across is that it was I treat my experience with the organization as a kind of microcosm of how my self was built during kind of like my social revolution during school, and how I became a completely different person in the 5 years I was.
I feel like when I met you sophomore year compared to how you were at the end of your 5th year, well, your sophomore year, my freshman year. We all grew and developed in all of our different ways.
Absolutely.
And I think what really prompted you, what shot you towards success, 2 big factors. BH, of course. That's more than a factor. That is a realm.
It's a mentality.
It is. BH
more than just a physical location. I feel a piece of BH among us right now. Just looking at that T-Mobile spatula.
You did not just say among us. I heard someone say that the other day. But the other thing, man, was the extra point. I think the extra point was the exact hand you needed to pull you up to what is Compact Discourse now.
Mm-hmm. Like, I left that out of the story just because I didn't want to go off on just this giant tangent, but like
we could make an entire season about just the I need to get Jared in on this.
Just a quick aside. I strayed away from talking about it, but yeah, the guy that trained me on Weagle.
Jared. I didn't know he trained you.
I went to the LSU game in 2017. Who's sitting in front of me in
Jared?
In Baton Rouge?
Jared.
Was
I'm dropping the last name, dude. That
Jared at my funeral, out in the back. There's gonna be a guy with one behind a tree with a black umbrella. Jared.
Sunglasses or no sunglasses? Sunglasses.
You know Jared well. But yeah, unbelievable, hard worker, committed. This guy would do unbelievable lengths to make. I don't even know what his motivation is, but whatever
he told
it is,
me at one time.
Whatever it is, I'm phenomenally grateful that the extra point, which has always been the butt of my joke. The extra point came on after Compact Discourse sometimes, and it was like a joke, or it came on after the wake up call. Whatever we were doing.
Wake up. It's the fast break.
Yeah, and Jared put in an unbelievably thankless job. He put in more work than anyone else combined, probably, for absolutely no credit, for nothing, effectively.
No, he won awards.
I mean, yeah, you win awards, but the man hours and, like, toil he's put into it for relatively no recognition and no, I mean, just for his self-fulfillment, of course, that came first, but and I honestly think that is at the crux
one of the most important parts.
He's Jared would never. Jared bats 1,000, and he will not, sleep at night if he doesn't.
Yeah.
But as a result, his selflessness to afford that opportunity to so many people to grow and change under him, I feel like Weagle's not where it is today. Weagle's not even a quarter of where it is today.
Yeah.
Without, like, just the blood, sweat, and tears of Jared.
Yeah. I
did my best to try to afford that opportunity, like a quarter of that opportunity to the DJs of tomorrow with what the foundation that Jared built.
Especially, dude, when he took over as sports director, because we knew Jared as a grad student. We didn't know Jared as a student. Jared is old as...
We were on, like, Cheers, and then there's Frasier. We met Frasier Jared.
Yeah. I don't watch Frasier. I'm just going to agree with you,
It's not
man.
important to the analogy.
It's not important.
We were on season 2 of Jared.
Yeah. Look at this penguin meditating on the TV, man. He's chilling right now.
So that's where I wanted to bookend that, is that college radio really was a metaphor for how I socially developed in college.
Yeah.
And I'm infinitely thankful for that. I wouldn't be very, I'm pretty comfortable on this mic right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be,
We wouldn't be comfortable doing what we're doing right now if not for what Jared did for us.
Yeah.
And I got to give
I
some
wouldn't be
shouts
comfortable.
to G-Man.
Yeah,
I know he hates getting called G-Man, but Grayson, dude, he's the one that basically taught me how this stuff works.
Yeah, how those knobs and wires work.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be comfortable, getting up in front of a meeting and talking.
Yeah.
I do that every day.
You
and
do
I'm
every
fine
day
with it.
now?
I mean, yeah. 9 a.m. meetings. We all go around, see what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I say it with this full, clear voice that I developed behind the microphone. Giving eulogies at funerals, like...
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, public speaking is an unbelievably underrated skill.
That's very true.
People don't know how to speak.
I was talking about that today.
Not to be like, old man yells at cloud, boomer chat, but kids these days, not a lot of them are able to develop and hone skills of addressing a group of strangers without being just incredibly nervous.
Yeah,
I'm still incredibly nervous. I still have incredible social anxiety, but you get a push. Like, you get a push from, you've done this before, and it's still difficult. It's still just like bone-rattlingly chilling, but at the same time, you have a structure to build upon.
Y'all have a go-to word at the beginning of meetings, don't you? It's who-we, isn't it? All right. Yep. Well, is that it? That's all y'all start?
Yeah, our superintendent will lead off a meeting like that.
That's
and
what's up,
just
dude.
about anything
He's
enthused about.
Word. It really did catch on. It really did catch on. That's incredible. I have a launchpad word, so I have to public speak literally every day at my job. A lot of it, I don't really give a lot of tours with my job, but I do go outside and I talk to guests just because it's one of the things that I love most about my job is talking to people from all over the world. We had an insane amount of people from Canada today.
Who's
a
here?
Lot of Canadians.
First time in Nashville?
First time. Wait, hold on. Let me fix my EQ.
Levels?
My levels are fine. There's something not right. I think that's what. God, one of our tour guides, I'm not going to shout her out, but she has one of my favorite jokes in all of our tours. At the beginning, whenever they're like taking them backstage, she'll say, "All right, first time in Nashville, first time in Tennessee, first time in the U.S." And it always gets a laugh, dude. Yeah. Because there are people there that are really never been to the there are people that are really never been to the U.S. That's a great
first
sentence.
Stop. Opry, I'm there.
Dude,
Coming off
we get
the plane.
a lot of people from the UK.
I'm there.
Canada, Australia, New Zealand. My mic is buzzing like all hell right now.
Well, I can alleviate that while you work on it, and we can take a break if you need to.
No, I think it's fine now.
Let me. We'll just mosey on over to another topic of conversation. I was down for New Year's.
We are gonna have to take a break. I'm sorry.
All right.
All right. We're back on it again. If this thing will record, God. All right. Is it going? I think it's going now. I might have just completely screwed it up. I'm trying to see a colorful bird. I just saw a colorful bird.
We back, buddy?
Dude, with the little fox doing its little jump thing. Okay. We just saw a colorful bird. And for those of you who have no idea who I am or what the colorful bird means, anyone who's like more familiar with me knows exactly what the colorful bird thing is. Anyone that knows compact discourse Weagle knows the colorful bird, but that was pretty good because that was a soundbite and it was part of the intro, the commercial for compact discourse.
What happened was compact discourse in my blowout final season. I tried to, integrate as much fun, exciting things as possible.
The production quality was insane.
Be that as the secret 8:30 in the morning song, or the cookie challenge, or Fat Bear Week, or any of these fun things. We tried to get some audience engagement. Part of that was doing news about campus events, and of course we had first week of school. There's always a million things going on.
There's a million things going on.
And then UPC had a thing going on where they had like a wild animal tamer coming in with probably like reptiles and centipedes, and
they bring in alpacas
and whatever.
They bring in pterodactyls. That's exactly what you said whenever we said the colorful bird. I remember you were talking about that. Because I was saying, man, I'm not trying to see an alpaca. Or whenever they bring in animals like that, UPC, I'm sorry I'm about to put you all on blast here, and they're never even going to listen to this, but UPC loves to bring in, if they could bring in a zebra. We already saw this clip earlier. I think we're on a loop now because it's a 9-hour thing. Whatever. They like to bring in alpacas or just something that's exotic. But the exact quote we're getting at is it said, I'm trying to see a colorful bird. I want to see a parrot. I want to see
a hyacinth
macaw. A macaw, is that what you said?
This guy gets it, yeah.
Dude, macaws are sick. Have you seen Rio?
I've seen Rio. I think
Rio's tight.
George Lopez in that film.
George Lopez. Is that what's the name of the guy? Of course, great way to suggest that one. He's got kind of like the nerdy voice. I think he's in Big Mouth. John Mulaney. Is he in
Nick
Rio?
Kroll.
Are they both in Rio? Nick Kroll is hilarious.
In Rio.
I don't know, dude. I might be way off. I might be completely off.
In Rio.
Well, I guess I'll jump into my Weagle origin story with a colorful. Well, colorful bird was the very beginning of senior year.
And I'll talk about the convergence of our two stories. It may get to that, but you go ahead and spill your tea.
So I've been into music since I was 13, 14. Honestly, like 10 years old. I really got on Spotify.
What was the first song you ever heard?
First song I ever heard. Dude, that's such a stupid question.
Man,
I'm quitting. The first song I remember hearing, God, this is going to sound so cringe. First song I remember hearing, and I was like, damn, like, this is music right here. Like, I was listening to my dad's old iPad he had, like the iPad 1, and this is Christmas Eve. I was maybe 10, 11, somewhere in that range.
The iPad came out in 2010, so that will date this story promptly.
Yeah, so it was 10, 11. I was listening to Paradise by Coldplay. And I, of course, heard music on the radio growing up and all that. But this is my first individual approach. I mean, I'd listen to music videos on YouTube, things like that. This is the first time I think I'd really just picked up the iPad and hit shuffle. Because I had like an iPod shuffle, whatever, and I just bought stupid-ass music that I would hear on Radio Disney and wherever. I would hear music on other pop radio, but that was like testing the waters, And I think I really dove into it after I listened to that Coldplay album. I'm getting on a tangent here. What led me into Weagle was my brother went to Auburn, and he graduated 2017. So he graduated, and then you showed up in the fall after he graduated. And he told me,
"What's up?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? You can click the." He told me about this organization that you can play music for like either a half hour or an hour every single week. And I said, ain't no way you can just do that for free. And I was like, he's like, yeah, dude, you can do it. It's free and anyone can really be a part of it. So I see Noah during my Camp War Eagle. Shout out Camp War Eagle, dude. I can't wait to have some of my fellow QUI counselors on here at some point. But I talked to Noah and got on the email list. And then on move-in day, they were doing some kind of T-shirt giveaway. Were you there for the T-shirt giveaway? Were you there for that? You know what I'm talking about?
I know you won because it was on the Instagram.
Yeah, well, I won the T-shirt.
Might just still be.
On that Instagram? You think it's still there?
Viewers, yeah.
I have a screenshot of it in my phone, but I mean, I went to that and I went to the interest meeting. And you were there. This is where the stories converge. I was sitting front row at the interest meeting with a big old smile on my face. And I remember the two people sitting in the front were Noah and Bryn, because she was program director at the time. And then she was manager, and then it was Breland as manager, and then the almighty Grayson manager. But having Noah there, I mean, he's just an encouraging guy. I mean, he's a sports fan. He's like, yeah, let's go, dude. Come on, join the organization. That's not even how he talks at all. But Noah got me in on it. And then I met you at that meeting, and then I was like, hey, I want to do a show. And then we set up a meeting for like, I think a Monday afternoon. Maybe, was it a Monday? Do you recall?
Could have been any day.
Could have been any day.
I was probably pretty available on Mondays.
The day of the week don't even matter at this point. What matters is I knew the exact song I wanted to use, and I walked in. I didn't even. Well, you said you had the 5-prong approach. I think the
probably
station,
not at that
the
point.
time.
I wasn't that refined, but
I feel like
I
you
mean,
might
I
have.
probably had it. I told you, have an idea.
Yeah, and I remember. I'll give another shout out to old MFG living down in South Carolina now. I used her intro that had one of my favorite rap songs of all time, Spodiody Dopalicious, for the Malfunction Junction.
ATLians.
Yeah, different album, but close enough.
It's evocative. You knew
Some
what I was
know.
talking about.
Some know. Those who know. Could be. Whatever. Okay, I keep getting sidetracked, man, but I chose
sorry.
Layla.
Shut the hell up, I guess.
I'm doing it to myself. And now you're busting my balls. Great. So I chose Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. And then Justin and I set up a date for my first show. And Justin ran CD with you at the time. So y'all ran a talk show. He had no idea what he was doing. So we just hop on. I just started talking over commercials and just turned the commercials down like, we're going to go to break. And it was such a terrible mess. But the moment I heard All Along the Watchtower play, dude, I knew I was in the right spot. At the tall desk, the non-accessible desk. And now we have the accessible desk. Weagle really just, that second semester, well, you know what our year ago's today are right now, don't you? We're 4 years.
For me, it's standing in line at basketball games. I don't know what yours are.
That's 3 years. 4 years ago, we were in the Weagle shutdown that led to.
4 years ago, I did not really use Snapchat, so I don't have much.
Yeah, well, I remember when you started really using it again. I know that. We'll get into that in a minute. And never stopped. I deleted my Snapchat for a few months. Dude, my Snapchat score is so embarrassingly high. It's higher than, like, every group chat I'm in, my individual score is always higher than the combined average, dude. It's so embarrassing. But that's how I talk to people. It's my main line of communication.
Of course, yeah. It's well known in the annals of Weagle history. The shutdown is the best thing that ever happened.
It really was. I mean, the shutdown led to all of us learning how to use a peacock. There's a peacock. Oh, there's a peacock right there. Not a real one, of course. For those of you who are wondering why there's a peacock in the living room.
One of my mini knickknacks.
Yeah, one of Jack's mini knickknacks is a live peacock just strutting around. Like the vocab word there? Strutting a little bit.
So, yeah, the shutdown, it gave us a chance to refocus.
It gave us a chance to quite literally get closer to each other by sitting next to each other on that computer and making hotkeys that would play funny videos. Like the second time that Shaq was levitated was at Chris's house.
Funny Stephen A. reaction videos.
Stephen A. There was Pitbull. There were so many things in that shutdown. The background literally was a callback to it with the Pitbull thing. So it was insane because I think the background at one point was Jimi Hendrix setting his guitar on fire on the stage.
Very well might have been.
I remember that because that's in like the Snapchat I have from the year ago whenever it did shut down. And we just put in that new desk. And then station manager Bryn ran her show and played Beautiful Disaster by 311, and we were down for like a week. I don't even know why it had to happen that way, but it's poetic, dude. It's absolutely poetic that it happened that way.
And a week turned into a month, turned into 2 months.
Was it 2 months? I felt like it was only a month, and then we did shows, and it shut down again for like another week.
Yeah, I mean, it was something like that. Because I remember you were all hot and bothered about wanting to get back on the ones.
I was upset. Yeah. I was so ready to get back.
At the time, not understandably so, as a guy without a show. But now I get why you wanted to get off the.
Yeah, dude. I remember the thing I look forward to most, and I did get to do it at the end of January. We were back at the end of January, I think. Well, we were back in January, and then it shut down.
That's right. Yeah, we had a couple shows, and then it was very early in the semester.
The show I wanted, the 3 shows I like doing the most in the spring semester are, of course, the David Bowie show that I open every semester with, and then my Valentine's and Anti-Valentine's. I love doing those shows because I'm a corny, cheesy music fan. I'm not afraid to admit that. If you know me, you know that's true. That's how I am. But, dude, whenever we got shut down, I didn't know what I was going to do with myself. We did, of course, eventually figure it out because we got into making the hotkeys, and the hotkeys are long since dead and gone at this point. But just learning how to do computer commands.
Maybe a physical record, by physical I mean digital, of the secret sheet that told you what each of the hotkey did. That may be in the possession of one Brewen McHenry. But
she has the sheet?
She has the picture of the sheet.
I might have to call her. What if we called her and put her on speakerphone on this?
I
doubt she would answer.
I would not quite be comfortable with you doing that. So let's table that discussion.
Not gonna yeah, it's 10:30 on a Wednesday night, so we're definitely not going to call Breland. Did I do that? I think.
But let it be known that there was a
sheet.
That's when the Weagle cat was named Jamiroquai.
Jamiroquai the cat.
Jamiroquai.
Jamiroquai. That was when we were in the process of getting our new staff together. Bryn was the only one that went for the
That's
job.
when we started covering Auburn hockey.
It was
Big moment for Weagle.
Big moment
Like,
for Weagle. Big moment for Auburn hockey now.
Formative in the formation of our friendship, which once again I'll iterate was an extension of our social and cultural and
our impacts.
Development as friends, as people, as an organization. It was all tied together. Like people first organization, absolutely.
Yeah, because Weagle was my first organization. I did have my second. I did have my other family. And one quote, you can tell me how you feel about this quote, but I like to think no matter how cliquey every place you go might be, every place or every area has some kind of heart and soul and like a family for you to find in it. How's that sound? Does that sound all right? It's a little much, but it can be refined, but I think it's true, man.
There's something to that.
There's something to say about that. And, of course, Weagle was the family we all had. And that's one of the most beautiful things about my job now. And one of the quotes that I had to bring up in my interview was I was like, that was literally my family there. And that's what the whole thing with my job is now. They talk about it's like, oh, it's the family, the country music family. I'm trying not to just give away where I work, but
JP works at.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't even have to talk about all that too much, but it's a good job, man. It's a good time. It's a good family to be a part of, and I like bringing that family into it. Well, me and my family aspect about things, because, dude, I used to call you like my big brother of Weagle, because I was like, well, I'm not going to go Greek because I can't afford it, and I'm not a douche. Yeah, that's right, Greek life. No, I'm kidding.
We had our bits.
we had our bits. No, I'm not going to hate on Greek life. We talk about Greek life.
We laughed. We cried. We blocked each other. We got over it.
Blocked each other? Oh, no, never mind.
It's all good. We're on a podcast together now.
Yeah.
I think you know where we landed.
We did beef a little bit, bro. I don't even know why. That's when you know guys are about to be good friends, man. Is because for some reason there's some stupid beef and you get over it and you're like, why the hell did we even beef in the first place? But I remember when you started using Snapchat was when the family was formed, and that was at Christmas time 2018. So the hotkeys came spring 2019, but
that's right.
Dude, what is this monkey on the TV? What is that thing?
He almost looks like a skunk.
That's what I was about to say. It looks like a skunk.
Skunky.
Monkey. Skunky.
This guy gets it.
So silly. Davis would love that. Davis would love this guy too here.
I'm texting him right now.
You texting Davis that we're recording right now?
We can move on. I was texting about something unrelated, but I'm bringing up Skunky.
This guy, man. At Christmas, we were at Reese's house, and we had the party at Reese's. That was where I really first hung out outside of Weagle with you, Chris, Herb, Justin, Henry. That was pre-Grayson. Grayson joined the mix in sophomore year because that was when both of us were sophomores. But the group chat didn't get made until the end of middle of spring. The wave check video.
It was in summer.
It was in summer that the group chat got made?
July was the foundation of the, yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it was in May for some reason. That was the Instagram group came first.
Oh, absolutely.
The Weagle Fishing and Welding meme chat. The name has not since changed, which is so impressive. Same with Wave Check,
for a
though.
Group chat.
It really is. And that, I think you came up with that name.
Yeah,
either that,
it was kind of like.
I'd say it was a joint effort.
It was kind of like Reddit, lay meme 100, Keanu Reeves kind of vibes to the name. Kind of. It didn't age well, but.
What do you mean? I think the name aged very well. Radio Wave Check?
No. Fishing and welding.
Oh, here, hold on. Your mic is acting up. Fiddle with that XLR cable a little. All right, he's plugging it. He's unplugging and plugging it back in.
1, 2.
All right, you sound great now.
Fishing and welding was what I was saying.
I still think it's great, dude. Fishing memes are great. Fishing and welding memes are hilarious.
Yeah, maybe it's because it was very zeitgeisty at the time on Instagram. It was like, women, no thanks, I'm fishing. That was about all my timeline was.
Yeah, no, I agree. Told her I had to stop off at the bank. I didn't tell her which one.
Of course I come fast. I got pallets to lift. You know,
very
things
true,
of
man.
that nature.
We might have to edit that one out.
I'm so sorry.
We're fine, man. This is I feel like this is an explicit podcast. I've dropped a couple F-bombs in here. Just a handful of them. But yeah, dude, once sophomore year got rolling around, I think I might have re-recorded. You had to help me reproduce my thing.
We remastered it.
We did at the remaster. We remastered it plenty of times because I eventually learned how to do it on my own, which is one of the most important skills that I really wish I would have. I wish I would have picked up as assistant production director. I wish I would have gone that route instead of marketing director. Marketing director was cool, and I did a good giveaway for Imagine, but that was the only thing I did right as marketing director. And then I became music director, and I kind of changed the game. program director was where I belonged, but I think assistant production director would have been great for especially what I do now with producing things. Because over the last summer, my internship was production, like exactly what you did. So that would have been the perfect role for me to kind of hone my craft. And I mean, I can do it all right now. I don't have Adobe. I have this weak software, Audacity, which is free, which is nice. But man, I'm about to just splurge and get Adobe already soon. Because Adobe makes everything so much easier. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's right.
It's been a good chunk of my life banging away on Adobe Premiere.
Absolutely, man. Adobe Premiere or Adobe Audition?
Premiere. Audition as well, but
I didn't know you used a Premiere a lot.
I didn't use it a lot, but during the back to the shutdown.
Oh yeah.
I was in the lab. I was cooking up some interesting product.
I
was making full use of my student license.
Dude, I wish I would have made more use of mine. Now that mine's gone, oh my God, I miss it.
Take Paradise and put up a parking lot.
Woo-wee. I didn't even hit the note there. I guess you could say I'm darred.
Hoo-wee.
Hoo-wee.
A little sedated.
That hasn't really caught on at work yet. I don't really do that at work that often, though.
That's for close friends only.
Yeah. Hoo-wee. Because me and Davis kind of really got into that one. I do the Arthur Morgan voice all the time. I talk like this because I want to.
Have you seen my friend Buzz?
Have you seen my friend Lenny? Lenny! I'm trying to see a colorful bird.
That's good.
Yeah, we're kind of getting on tangents right now.
That's understandable. I was asking if you wanted to move on to something else.
We can talk about a year ago today, 3 years ago at that LSU basketball game where I got paint on my jacket. You asshole painters.
Let's talk about standing in line for that LSU basketball game.
Yeah.
That was a noon tip. So I got in line at
you were there
noon at night, also known as midnight.
Yeah, because I saw your year ago today of y'all. There's commitment, then there's whatever this is.
That's something like that. So yeah. I mean, for those of you unaware, unindoctrinated to the good word, we went to Auburn University.
Yes, we did.
Home of the Auburn Tigers at that time, Auburn Arena, which has a very sparse student section. Sparse in that it can only contain about 1,200 students. Not sparsely populated because it always fills up.
Oh, it fills up like that.
But yeah, as a result, we're not like as a blue blood, we're unlike other blue bloods in that we don't have a ticket lottery. We don't have Coach K-ville like Duke does.
What is that?
It's like a tent thing. It's
like what we did that one time.
Kind of. But they have like rules. It's because they've been good for so long.
Yeah.
The Cameron Crazies. It's
the
thing with Auburn is, it used to be Anthony Davis. Great NBA player. Played at Kentucky in 2012 or 13.
Something like that.
There was a time and age in Auburn basketball history when Anthony Davis was playing in Auburn Arena, and you could walk in a minute before tip and get a courtside seat.
It's true, man.
You're a student.
That is a great perspective.
Because I work with some people who tell me that story. They were able to walk in.
That is insane that they could just walk in like that right before tip.
Culture changes, whatever. We'll get to the point where, because we don't have the infrastructure like these other blue bloods. I'll stress that, other blue bloods.
Yes.
Like Duke, Kentucky, Kansas. It's still first come, first serve. If you are the first student in line, you get the best seat in the house. So as a result, that quickly leads to people getting in line earlier and earlier and earlier for games. And when it's a ranked LSU team coming in to play a ranked Auburn team.
With the kid from Birmingham on the team.
That's right.
Which is where we're at right now.
On a Saturday. It leads to trouble. And that trouble, which I was so eager to be a part of, was just getting in line way before the game started so that I could stand on the floor. And do I have a regret? Absolutely not. I've been saying for years, it's better to have a good story than a good time. Hell, if you can have both, so be it.
Woo! That's a good quote. That's a good snippet right there.
It sucked. I hate the cold. I was frozen. I was wearing 6 jackets. I
remember the fit.
I was layered. It was unbelievably miserable. If you were lucky, you got a hot coffee halfway through, but you were planted out there in the freezing cold, and thank goodness we don't live somewhere where it actually gets cold.
Oh my God, dude, we would have died.
I don't know if I could have done it, but check the highlights. Auburn versus LSU 2020. I'm on the front row forever. So
yes, you are.
It's immortal. So do I regret it? Absolutely not.
There's an immortal pic of me too. Just unamused on the court side.
So yeah, I mean that's the kind of stuff we got up to in college, and that's the kind of stuff you remember.
Well, my perspective into that was I got drunk the night before. I got drunk that night.
Got out of prison.
And Yeah, so I remember I woke up randomly because, sometimes you'll wake up at like 5 a.m.
Sometimes your body hits the panic button, wake up or you're about to die.
Well, it wasn't even that. I just randomly woke up just completely fine.
Rise and
Because
shine.
I probably went to bed that night at maybe 12:30 or so. I didn't go out late. I went to that Southeastern bar. I went to Southeastern with some friends of mine, and I remember I was like, this is lame. I'm going home. And I went to sleep, and I woke up at 5 in the morning. I texted you. I was like, are y'all in line? You're like, what do you think? So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to the game because I'm not going back to sleep now because it's 5 a.m. and I drank the night before and I don't see myself going back to sleep. So I drive. You just went full couch monster there. So I get in my car and I drive. I got a great parking spot and I basically just skipped like the whole line. I think
the statute of limitations has passed, but yeah, JP cut like an MRFer.
Oh, dude.
Right to the front.
I really did not care. Davis was kind of already up there a little ways. This is like
Whatever
the me and Davis origin story. I don't care, man. It's years ago now, but I basically just cut the line. And I paid the price for it. I got paint on my blue jacket from those dumbass orange painters. I just don't understand those people, man. It's like 30 degrees outside and they're shirtless just wearing paint and shorts. I don't know.
Cloud chasers.
They are cloud chasers. They're a different breed of people. If you paint up, you used to paint up in high school, so I'm not going to go any further with that. I don't know, man. I just don't understand the painting thing. Different situation. It's high school. If you're in college, what do you have? Sorry, I don't want to get on too much of a tangent, but I basically cut through them and I made it all the way up to the front, and that's where some of the iconic pictures were taken. Especially me. I don't even know what Andy was saying, man. I wish I remembered. It could have been
literally anything Andy said.
And I was just looking at him like, huh? That is the original huh moment right there. Like there's been JP moments since I joined because I just have stupid moments, bro. But that was the original huh was Andy was saying something. And I'm not trying to diss Andy at all. It's just anything he says at that time. Because it's like 7 in the morning. I'm awake, but it's also considering, I mean, I went on a Friday night, and dude, that picture is hilarious.
A man in a Snuggie is trying to have a reel-to-reel conversation.
He did have a Snuggie on, and Davis has the black Puma jacket.
Huh?
Yeah.
Unheard of.
Yeah, and then we actually got inside. I think I had a funnel cake at that game. I feel like I did. That seems like a type of thing I would do. It's definitely something I would do.
And that was a kick-ass game.
Yeah, man. Trended Watford. That was one of the last basketball games I remember going to and thinking that I was sane. Well, like a sane basketball
11 a.m.
fan.
tips are unbelievable because you have the best day of your life. Unbelievable. Crazy. Like, you just screamed your lungs out for 3 hours. You just had it feels like a party. Like, it feels like your wedding night. It's, like, crazy. And then you look at your watch and it's like 1:30.
Yeah.
In the afternoon.
You're out of there and then you're like, oh my God, now I got to go wait an hour to drive home because of the traffic.
Yeah, it's.
I live a mile away and it's going to take me.
It's like such a bubble when you're in the loudest the arena had been up to that date before 2021 Kentucky, I think by my unscientific metric.
2021 or 2019 Kentucky.
2021 when 35 Devin Cambridge dunked to get the
lead
against Kentucky.
Was that the 7-3s game?
That was the most recent game. That would have been about a year ago, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
2022 Kentucky. I'm sorry. When Pearlville happened. When
when
I know all the big camping happened, and all the tents and all that ridiculousness.
What an insane night, dude.
When Devin Cambridge dunked to get the lead against Kentucky, that's the loudest Neville Arena or Auburn Arena at the time. Had been, will be, ever will be, I think.
You think so?
I mean, we'll see this Saturday. We'll see.
Oh, do we play them this Saturday?
We play Alabama.
Ooh, yeah, that's not going to be pretty. You did not. No, I'm kidding.
Road Dad. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Are they playing in Neville?
In the Nev.
In the Nev.
Yeah.
The Nev?
It has potential to be
cool.
The loudest because I might make it the loudest.
Going.
I need to win this Saturday like I need air.
So what you're saying
that's all I'll say.
You'll be at the game. Where are you sitting? Do you know where you're sitting? Or
I'll be standing.
You'll be standing?
Yeah.
Standing room? Or?
I spent a stupid amount of money on a ticket.
You did. Of course you did. But you're a dedicated fan. You're a lot better sports fan than I ever will be.
If we win this game and I'm not there, I'll never be able to live it down.
I think you will, man. I think you will. But I know
just the way Bama's been playing this year.
They're pretty incredible.
I had to leave. Like, I could not. They were beating Florida like 40-20. I was just like, I can't.
Auburn or Alabama was.
Alabama was beating Florida pretty bad, and like everyone's been beating everybody this year in the SEC, and everybody except for who's undefeated. I'm just like,
bad.
it's ridiculous. I need Bama to get humbled instantly.
Yeah, that would be kind of nice. Those Alabama fans and their big old heads.
Nothing like a reverse rammer jammer to cure your depression.
Dude, I feel like we're gonna just lose every single Alabama fan base. Any Alabama? Geez, now I sound like an Alabama fan with how I'm talking. Yep.
All right, so
yeah, and
Auburn
I
basketball.
guess
It's a good. We had some good times doing that as well, and that just goes to show that we're
Auburn
not fake
basketball
friends.
was a big one.
We've known each other.
Yeah, we've known each other for a long time now. Isn't that insane, dude? We're going on 5 years this year. I've known some people. There are people I've known since I was, I don't know, like. Well, I feel like you really know people once you turn like 5, 4 or 5 in preschool is when you start like hanging out with people consistently. Because
When you start having deep conversations.
Well, man, I think one of the deepest conversations I ever remember having was when I was like 12 or 13. That was when I really started having some deep conversations. When I was like 1 year old is when I met like one of the first friends I ever made. She actually lives in Birmingham. I'm not going to name drop or anything. She's a good friend of mine that I'm still good friends with. Went to grade school, high school, like freshman year homecoming with. Like that, a friend that you've known that long that's who you go with to your first high school dance. That's like the t-shirt. Where's the novelty t-shirt that we're going to get into?
Hey, I feel like when we get past the deep part of the evening and move on to my lighthearted fun topics.
Oh, we're switching to some new hats. I like that hat. Where'd you get that hat?
At an Auburn basketball game, believe it or not.
No way.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a merch hat that they would have now.
Well, it was a 90s night, so they had a pop-up of like vintage clothes.
Ooh.
So this is like fake vintage. Don't get it twisted.
That's still
but
sick,
at the
though.
same time,
It looks vintage to me. This isn't even a vintage t-shirt. I don't know what's going on with me in the all black fit. That's a new thing since I started this
the man
job.
in black.
The man in
the
black.
Rambling Gambler.
The Rambling Gambling Man. I was actually listening to some Bob Seger earlier. The Rambling Gambling Man or I don't know. That song was amazing. I listened to this album, the one with Turn the Page on it from 1975. That is 76. Wait, this is saying 75. I guess it was released in 76 and recorded in 75. But man, that is a great album. I texted a friend of mine while I was listening saying this is the exact combination of Creedence Clearwater meeting Led Zeppelin 4 in Detroit. There's your context for Bob Seger right there. What are your lighthearted topics?
Oh, I sent you a list earlier in the week.
Oh, you did send me a list. Yeah, calisthenics was the one that stuck out to me the most.
I've been doing calisthenics. We'll start there as a jumping off point.
We can start with some calisthenics. Let me pull up the list and screenshot.
I really noticed that I'm a fitness guy. I enjoy fitness. So it in my adult life, since I've been out in the real world for about a year now, I've noticed that you need hobbies. Like you can't just slum it like you used to back when you had friends. You got to have something to do, you know.
Would you say you're a gym bro?
I'm not a gym bro. I go to the gym alone, and I mean that in the most literal sense. I go to a private gym, so there's not much contact with the outside world. So it's for me. There's nothing. Don't get it twisted. There's not a whole lot else going on there. I'm not vlogging. I'm not slamming weights and screaming at people.
The occasional selfie.
I'm not making tripod videos or anything like that.
Let me interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead, bud.
You keep like kicking the tripod and it's picking up on the. Sorry, my bad. I just keep hearing it on the headphones. It's for the audience, bro. I'm sorry.
Understood.
I'm
you
sorry.
You
have to call it. I cannot.
So what
call
I'll say,
it for
I'm a fitness guy, and I've been doing weight training for pretty consistently for about a year and a half.
Hold on, it's the cable now. I'm sorry, man. My setup is mid.
I'm a fidgeter.
The Gypcast one is not super
I'm a
nice.
fidgeter, man.
I can get you one for my backpack. I've got fidgets on deck.
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna get one.
I usually have my gum, but I feel like that wouldn't be a good auditory experience for listeners.
Dude, I got a good one for you. Hold on.
I got my fidget
cube.
Keep
talking about calisthenics, bro.
I got my fidget cube at work. Oh, this is perfect.
I'm telling you, dude, that's the best one. Look at the colors on that thing, too. I've had that thing since I was a kid. I don't even know where it came from, but I love that thing.
A mysterious tome.
Yeah, it is. So I have like a curtain rod in my room. I don't have a mini hoop in my room, but I like throw that thing over the curtain rod. So it's just like I don't know, dude. I can't help but fidget all the time.
I got a bucket of foam golf balls out back there that I hit with my 9-iron against the wall. And I got one at work that I bounce off against the wall.
Nice.
I got a fidget cube too. I'm a fidgeter.
I'm a big into the whole fidgeting thing. But that thing is perfect. If you get tired of that one, you can have the football.
We'll trade.
I think I got the football from Britt's. I'm almost positive I got this from Britt.
It all comes back.
Britt and Billy, man. Billy gave me this fidget spinner that I still have.
The hookup.
It's the MTV one. I don't know if you've ever seen that black one I have. All right, and we're getting off topic again. Calisthenics, push-ups, calisthenics.
Yeah, so what
out.
I was saying is I'm a fitness guy. I've been weight training for about a year and a half. I started doing it solo about this time last year is what I'd like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Just hitting the gym. It was kind of became my zen happy place. I'm a podcast guy. I like podcasts and books. So that's like my time to listen to them is when I'm at the gym.
The Jordan Harbinger show.
That's a good one. That's a good
That is
gym
a good
cast.
one.
That's I liked the Auburn Observer. I like sports. I like the Late Kick. You know, plenty of
A lot of the sports ones.
the talking heavy ones. Something
Yeah.
can't get too philosophical. You know, it
Working out, thinking about the meaning of life.
pretty the Jordan Harbinger will get there sometimes. Most of the
They
time it's
do.
like pretty surface level stuff. You know,
Yeah.
social psychology. So I can get behind that. But yeah, so that would be my escape, as it were, and it's become that since I've been working. It's been a really good. You know, you get like a couple hours to yourself every day once you start working full time. You get like
You don't
one
get
hobby
enough.
you get to pick. Like you get to do one thing a day is what I like to say. Like
That's valid.
you need a few hours to take care of yourself, you know, eat, bathe, like the creature comforts, like take care of yourself physically. I mean, you have a few hours a day to like do something you want to do, whether that be video games with your friends or video games alone or going to the gym is what I do.
What time do you go to bed normally?
11:30 midnight.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I wish that I could do that. I can some nights, but one of my favorite roommates that I ever had, I guess I'll just say that. I won't drop his name in there because I don't want to hurt any feelings of other roommates I had, but we've been playing games a lot, and it's been nice because we've never had a rhythm where we could do that, but now he's got a full-time job, and we can actually do that.
You saying you go to bed later or earlier than that?
Oh, later.
Later?
Way later. Yeah.
Yeah, I had always been a night owl. I would also always had trouble sleeping when I was in school, and I definitely have been able to rectify that just by being on a really good schedule.
Yeah.
Since I've been working,
'Cause-
I get up early for work, and then if I stay up any later than midnight, I notice it in a way that I didn't when I was at school. So
I'm noticing
it
it a lot
definitely
too.
helps
Because
routines are good for the mind.
Are you what, 8 to 4, 9 to 5?
It varies, you know. I try to get to work by 8. I try to get out of there by 5:36 every day. So
Yeah,
it's a 12-hour commitment, you know.
Yeah.
But
do you get a
between commuting and you know it's not. I'm not hourly, so it's
Yeah, no, since you're
just
I see what you
get
mean.
your job done and you can get out of there.
I'm hourly, so I mean I have to make sure I don't go overtime, but dude, it's so easy to go overtime with my job. I don't mind this is going to make me sound like I'm really just me writing my job, but my job is one that I don't mind going overtime because I don't really feel like I'm working when I'm there. Like it doesn't really feel I'm not pushing a broom, you know what I'm saying?
Understood. You're not tying rebar together.
No, you aren't tying rebar together. Well, do you ever tie rebar? Do you ever
Hell
operate heavy machine? Do you have your forklift license?
No, I can drive a buggy, but no. I'm saying I like my job too because I'm not out there hunched over tying rebar.
You
together
got the
all
white
day.
helmet on.
Some people do like that's some people's livelihood, and like mad respect for that.
But those people are strong as hell.
Like in a way that I will never be lifting my little dumbbells at the gym.
Yeah, dude. Curling the 25s.
Yeah,
I don't mind
curling
curling
the squat rack,
dude.
curling the bar.
I like hammer curls more than curl on the bar. Dude, there's something about that.
It's a natural motion.
I guess so, but
Ego lifting only.
yeah, ego lifting.
Yeah,
only.
let's jump back on fitness real quick. Calisthenics is something. It's a shortcoming that I've noticed. Like I said, I've been weight training pretty
Hold on.
consistently.
Sorry, this cable is terrible. I should have just spent the money on nicer cable. You're good now. Actually, wait, no, it's not. Hold on. Just try and adjust it onto the thingy again.
Butt off real quick.
There we go. I swear, I need to just spend money on nicer cables. I have a
Testing 1 2.
Oh, that's perfect. I have a 25-foot cable, and I'll bring that next time we do this here so we can get up on the stage that you got there. Not the actual stage. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey,
the elevated surface in
some
the
will know.
apartment.
So
Some
yeah,
will know.
so I've been weight training on my own for pretty consistently, like 3 or 4 days a week. Sometime, you know, I do it more than the average person just because I don't have a lot else going on in my life.
That's really good,
if I'm
dude.
being
3 to
honest.
4?
Yeah, like 3 to 4 days a week just because I don't have a ton going on in my life. And I say that like with no remorse. Like I just like
Yeah.
the assessment. Like I'm young, I'm unfettered, I got plenty of free time. So
Mm-hmm.
I just the gym's a fun place for me to go. And people ask about my motivation. And I'm just like, I like doing it.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah, it's like I go and listen to my podcast. I go and run on the treadmill. It's fun. I like it. I'm better than sitting here on the couch.
Is it the gym that's connected to the office?
Yeah, I go to my office gym, which is like I said, it's a pretty that makes it that takes away a ton of the friction. It's close. It's less than a mile from where I live.
Yeah.
It's free. There's
It's probably 24/7, isn't it?
It's 24/7.
Yeah, dude.
It's hardly ever anyone else there.
They got overhead speakers? Can you Bluetooth?
They do, but I headphone usually,
yeah.
just because I like it a little more.
Yeah, you don't really listen.
I
to
was
music that
Planet
much.
Fitness pilled for a little while. When they were renovating the gym,
Yeah,
I was out with the masses.
with the masses
It
at
was,
the
the
totally judgmental, judge-free zone.
Oh, it's a scene, man.
I've been to the Planet.
I saw some stuff I'd never seen before there.
Oh, I've seen the weirdest looking dumbbell rows I've ever seen in a Planet Fitness.
I saw a guy hanging upside down from a Smith machine and then shadow boxing and then curling the 5-pound dumbbells.
I think I know that guy. I'm kidding.
Every Planet Fitness has that guy.
The shadow boxer, the Planet Fitness shadow boxer.
It has cloud storage.
If you don't know that guy. If you don't know who the Planet Fitness shadow boxer is, it's probably you. But dude, you look great though. Like
Appreciate
I don't know
it.
if anyone
Yeah.
said that.
It's a small, so.
Yeah. I think I got a medium on right here. I don't know. I was listening to a podcast. They were talking about how important it is to get your clothes tailored. I'm like, I can't afford all that.
No, sir.
No,
Just wear
no,
small.
thank you.
Life hack. So
Hey,
what
that
I
and
was
I got
saying
a black shirt
is
on,
that
so it does
after a
make you look
year of
better.
weight training, I really noticed a shortcoming. Is that my core strength is very lacking. And so I started picking up calisthenics within like the past week or two. It's like, I need to get on this because what good is feeling good and looking good if you're not like actually strong?
Mhm.
Is my
Talking about like the importance of your core being the strongest, or
I'm
not
not being the strongest, but like if like push comes to shove and you actually have to be strong in a situation, like
Mhm.
the only time I ever lift something heavy is at the gym. Like, what
Yeah.
if I have to like move some lumber? What if there's like a downed tree in an emergency? Like, what if I actually have to be strong in the real world?
Yeah, your car
and
runs
and
out
I
of
just
gas.
like, I got like a kick-ass bicep and like I can't move this tree trunk, you know.
Mhm.
So that's a situation where I was like, okay, I can diagnose there's a problem here where I like can barely do the most basic calisthenics so far as I can tell is called like the whole body hold, where you basically lay on your back and lift your arms and legs up and you hold that for a few seconds. And I was like, that's hard. I can't do that.
I might need you to send me that routine because I've got a really good upper body routine. My lower body routine's terrible.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
why I'm wearing pants.
this should not be difficult for me, but it is because I've never trained my core before. And so calisthenics is something I've been trying to do. Calisthenics for the uninformed, including me 2 weeks ago. So like no shade if you don't know what it is. It's so far as I can tell. Obviously, I'm not a fitness coach or anything, but it's just like body weight training. It's working on it's using tension in your body to strengthen your core, and it can take a variety of forms. And the way I've been approaching it is just by looking at ways to work on it, whether that be a lot of it, because it's just your body weight, there's a lot of progression to it, so you can kind of pick a level that you're comfortable with and then work up. Once you get comfortable with that level, you then move up. So something that I've been working on is knee raises. So I hang from my pull-up bar back there, and then you lift your knees up to your chest, and once you're comfortable with that,
you just hold it, or do you do like
you
10
do
of
reps?
them?
You do reps. Like it's just like weight training. You do reps, and that's what's great about it, is that anybody can do it, because like the whole body hold, you can do that. I do that for 10 seconds, and it kicks my ass. But
God,
like
a pull-up bar is exactly what I need.
so like you can move on from the knee raise to the leg raise, where you keep your legs straight and you lift them up.
That is hard.
It's
I
hard.
used to love doing that. We had a pull-up bar at the Cloud Castle, and
It's hard. Calisthenics are hard, and it's been really hard because like I'm used to like kind of being able to do the weights and getting comfortable, and like I've gotten really comfortable doing weights. So like doing something I'm not comfortable with and something that I stink at and something that like constantly makes me fail, it's been like really good for my brain, I think.
yeah,
To like,
that's good, man.
I've been like comfortable with weight training for like 6 months, and I've gotten really complacent. So doing something different and new and something that I haven't done before, something that's good for me. So that's where I'm at in calisthenics.
Yeah, and just to
Recommendation of the day: calisthenics.
Calisthenics.
Plenty of YouTube videos about it. Just
Yeah.
throw one on. Throw on a beginner's calisthenics routine.
And let me add to that disclaimer before I get too far into it. We are not weight trainers. We're just guys who are trying to feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Here's to feeling good all the time.
Here's to feeling good all the time. I had a roommate who, God bless him, man. He's like giving me workout regimented routines. I need to do it more than I do, because I demand myself to go 1 day a week. I should do more, but I guarantee myself to go at least 1 day, because I have bad habits that lead to me not going to the gym multiple times a week. I have like a resistance band routine I try and do almost every single day. It's like 50 push-ups, 75 resistance band like curls, and 75 overhead presses. I do them in like 5 sets of 10 push-ups and then 15 reps of the curls and the overhead thing. And dude, that resistance band is like one of the best investments I got for myself for whenever I would just have nothing to do. If I'm waiting on laundry to finish, if I'm waiting on something around the apartment, I normally won't work out if I'm like cooking, because can't really do it at that point.
It's an active activity.
If I'm making pasta, like if I'm doing that where it's just like boiling water, I can set it to like a low boil and I can do something. We have like some we have some like dumbbell things that I can use for stuff like that. But yeah, here's to feeling good all the time. Wait, hold on. I think a good segue for that is meal prepping. I kind of meal prep a little bit. I'm really excited about why you said old train tracks.
Okay,
let's go meal prep and then old train tracks.
So meal prepping is something that I got pretty into over the summer, and then I've still been doing it. I haven't been as good about it since the new year started, but it's something that I've currently done right now. If you want to open up my fridge, you'll see some meal prep in there.
How many days do you go for? Do you do 5?
So yeah, it varies. What I've kind of tried to do, you get used to, like anything, you pick and choose from a variety of sources as to what you like. There's plenty of good stuff on YouTube about meal prepping. That's kind of how I got into it. Was just
I'm gonna let you keep going. I'm gonna grab a beer. Just keep talking about meal prepping.
Okay. They're in the top left. So meal prepping, the way I understand it, is it's making. I got the containers. I decided I was gonna take the plunge, and I started meal prepping. It was all based on YouTube videos to start. I watched a ton of YouTube videos. I watched a ton of YouTube, just full stop, and somehow they got recommended to me, and I decided that now that I live alone and I like to cook and I like to save money, the 3 core tenets of the bachelor life, I was all over this meal prep thing. So I started trying it out, and I got to say that you find some winners, you find some losers, and then you kind of get into the rhythm of doing it. So my basic formula that I boiled it down to is that if I have absolutely no plan, I will just make some rice in my rice cooker. I got a rice cooker for Christmas.
Nice.
And so I was kind of like stubborn, and I was doing the stovetop rice for a long time. I had a good method for it, and I was good at making rice. I could always make rice that tastes good, and it was all – but it like the convenience fee, the rice cooker is just as good. It's maybe a little worse, like just a little worse, but it's the convenience of just putting the rice in and hitting go, and then like a half hour later you have perfect rice. It's infinitely worth it if you're meal prepping. And then the whole point of meal prepping is to save time, because I thank every day that I have a meal prepared.
Yes.
Not only for lunch, because lunch is more of like a save money thing. Like I don't have to go out and get a $12 lunch.
I spent $12 on lunch today.
Exactly. So like it's like I spend $40 at the grocery store and I have lunch for 6 days. Like
that's really nice.
Or lunch, like I have 6 meals.
Yeah.
So like you do the math. You can see how that saves you.
You are saving so much in a year by doing that. A little bit of cash
by the end of the month.
So is it rice? That's always your basic.
Well, no. What I was saying is, in terms of just broadly coming, like I get home from work at like best case scenario, I'm home by 6. I'm at the gym by 6:30. Takes me an hour and a half to work out. By that point, I'm showered. It's like 9, approaching 9:30. I get home. The last thing I want to do is cook. You know? If I can just throw something in the microwave, that's for my mental state. That like the temptation to go and get Chipotle, it's huge. But if you know that at home in your fridge, you're like 30 seconds and $0 away from something that's like 70% as good as Chipotle.
Yeah.
That like it really keeps you in check too. In terms of like nitty gritty recipes, if I have no plans, no recipe, nothing, I go to the store, I get like a pound of turkey, an onion, maybe a bell pepper if I'm feeling crazy. And then I always have rice. Like I got a big thing of rice in my pantry. So like you just make some rice, cut up that onion, throw it in there, brown that turkey, and then you just box it up. And that's like the simplest meal prep you can do is turkey and rice. If you know how to spice it, then like even better. You get used to it. A little paprika, garlic powder,
paprika,
all
man.
over it.
Paprika and garlic. Well, I use garlic salt a lot.
Yeah.
My meal prep thing, and this is literally the same thing I eat every day at lunch, is I will make pasta with buffalo chicken bites.
Mm-hmm.
I've got these Tyson chicken bites, dude, and I just throw them in the air fryer. That's what you need, man.
That's what's up.
Get you an air fryer.
Yeah, and then so definitely I've come up with no, I'm gonna say come up with. I'm not gonna say that because YouTube's your friend. Once you get like there's no reason to think anymore. Like everybody's already figured everything out. Just go check it out on YouTube. You'll be fine.
Teachers be like, all right, class, today I'm gonna teach you about this. Pulls up YouTube video.
Like don't. What I mean to say is that like people have done the heavy lifting for you already. Like there's no reason, there's no shame in like following a recipe. Like sometimes I feel that like you have to be doing it on your own. But like some people have some things are great for meal prep, some things are not. So like you have to figure out what you want to do. There's a great recipe I make that I'll take a little bit of ownership for because I've kind of manipulated it based on like 2 or 3 different sources. But it's just like pasta. You cut up whatever veggies you want. It's a cheese sauce. You cook it in some vegetable stock, and then you have.
That sounds really good,
dude. It's like once you figure out the formula, it gets so easy. My recommendation, if I can sell you on the benefits of meal prep with the whole it being really cheap and really easy, is that just try 2 or 3 different things, and you'll quickly be able to synthesize your own recipes. If you have even the slightest bit of like cooking mind.
I have a little bit of one, not much of one. My meal prep, I only make 2 days at a time.
Really all you need is like a rice or a pasta, maybe a sauce.
If you have the pans and bowls.
The trick is like vegetables. Vegetables add so much bulk.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that I've started doing is eating zucchini. I had never eaten zucchini before. Like I had zucchini, but I had never like purchased and cooked zucchini for myself before this year until I started
this
meal
year
prepping.
or like a few months ago when you started. Did
no,
you
like
meal prep
this past
2023?
summer.
Okay.
Calendar year. Yeah. So like zucchini. You buy like my grocery store has like a vacuum sealed 3-pack of zucchinis you can get for like $4.
Dude.
You cut it up, dice it, cook it in whatever. You barely taste it. It's good for you. It adds bulk to your meal, and it's like vegetables are the way.
I know, man. That's
like,
my biggest.
Especially
pitfall.
like the pasta and vegetable stock cheese sauce I make. You can't even taste like you broccoli. You can shred that stuff and you won't even taste it. Like vegetables are the way to add bulk to your meal and plenty of vitamins. Like I am fully vegetable pilled.
Do you want to hear this? It's kind of embarrassing. I've had corn plenty of times before, but the first time I really ate corn on my own accord when like me and my friends were cooking it versus at home, I didn't really eat it that much at home. I'd had it before in other random occurrences, but we went camping in Asheville, North Carolina, and we got a campground that had a grate over the fire pit. So we brought a cast iron skillet and we made steaks outdoors with corn and potatoes. Dude, that was one of the best meals ever. We were up on a mountaintop. We got a little wet because we were so far up in elevation that there was just rain. We were in clouds the whole time.
Yeah.
But, man, that's some of the best corn I'll probably ever eat. It was so good. The steak was awesome. I saved the rest of the steak and ate it for lunch a few days later. But with my meal prep thing with the chicken, dude, chicken goes bad so fast. I need to just do turkey. Turkey is a great alternative. I used to love turkey or ham sandwiches when I was
ground turkey's the way. I'll to put a bookend on the meal prep situation. 2 most recent meal preps I've made. One is healthy and easy, and one's a little more complicated, but it's not as good for you. So. First one I did was a white cheddar chicken pasta situation. So I got some real curly corkscrew pasta.
Nice.
Got a few chicken breasts. I got a block of white cheddar cheese. I got some snow peas, frozen bag of snow peas, and a head of broccoli. And I think that's about it. Like those are like the staples.
That's a cheap grocery store
and some vegetable
run.
stock.
Yeah.
Like I got out of the grocery store pretty cheap.
Is the vegetable stock is that like your liquid that you put in it? Do you put water in there too?
I'm trying to even think if I use vegetable stock. I don't even think I did. I got. I'm sorry. I'm getting my recipes confused. For this one, I got low fat sour cream and some milk. So I boiled I had the pot. You put the pasta in the pot. It's you can even use a saucepan if you want. Just to cover it, and then you boil that until the water almost completely goes away. So it's called the risotto method. You cook the pasta as if it were risotto, where you just kind of use the starch in the pasta to kind of make like a very thin sauce that it's already sitting in with just the pasta starch. Throw your block of shredded, you can buy shredded white cheddar if you want, but the block of cheese is a little bit cheaper if you want to put in a little extra work to shred it. Throw that in.
Get a little bit of that extra forearm strength in there.
Yeah. Throw in the shredded cheese, throw in a couple dollops of the low-fat sour cream, throw in a little milk. You got a real creamy cheese sauce already right there. And then as that's still hot, you can throw in the snow peas, throw in the lettuce or broccoli that you cut up, and then I just grilled the chicken breast, a little salt and pepper, paprika, and that's like a real healthy, real easy.
That was like
good. A half hour. And
that sounds like a meal that will make you feel good after you eat it
that made like 5 meals with like the box of pasta I got.
So you're set for a while.
Yeah.
Well, you eat that for dinner too, though, right?
Yeah, I have no qualms with eating the same thing like twice in one day.
Oh,
it's just fuel, you know.
Yeah.
Food is fuel.
It is fuel. God, that's such a crazy way to think about it. Is
the most you'll get a cook out of this one. The most recent recipe I made. This is the one I got in my fridge right now. I got a pack of Conecuh sausage.
Yep.
Yes,
yep.
Sir. Evergreen,
Alabama Evergreen.
Yes.
Yep.
And I got a bag of yellow grits and a box of vegetable stock. I got some mushrooms. I got a red onion. I got an orange bell pepper. And I got that pack of zucchinis, like I said. And what I did was I got...
Where'd you find this one? YouTube?
This was a home brewed.
Ooh.
Like I said, you get a second sense for what's going to work well as a meal prep.
Oh, yeah.
So I made, according to the back of the... I don't get quick grits. You can get quick grits if you want, but I'm
we don't do
school.
no Insta grits in this house.
No.
Ain't
I do
no
long
way.
grits.
The long grits.
I get those yellow grits, and I made them as the box recommended, but I replaced a third of the water that it called for with vegetable stock, and then I cooked that sausage up in a pan. Just it's sausage.
Dude, that
all you have to do is heat it up.
Do you ever season it or anything?
I get the
like
Cajun,
that?
so
yes,
no need.
Yes,
I mean I got Tony in my back pocket, of course.
Yes,
but
yeah. And what else you got with Tony's? That Lowry seasoned salt, baby.
That's right. So yeah, you make that sausage and you pull out the sausage. But you just pull out the sausage. You leave the grease down there because then you throw in the onions and the peppers and the chopped up zucchini and the mushrooms, and you just like let that simmer. Throw in some more hot vegetable stock. Throw in some tomato paste. Throw in plenty of Tony's. I mean,
a lot of Tony's.
Combine that all in a big pot. Grits, vegetables, sausage, and then you just have a big pot of stuff. You dole it out into your meal prep containers. You got a meal for
Jack stew right there.
5 or 6 days.
You got the Jack stew, man.
I also got some coffee and some other stuff at the store, but I think my bill was like $40.
Dude,
so I'm like,
$40 a week is a great
But like,
goal.
if you take away the coffee, if you take away the energy drink, I got $35.
Yeah,
$33.
Do you drink coffee and energy drinks every day? Well, that's what we need to get into next. Is talking about caffeine.
All right, what's up?
Caffeine
I drink coffee all the time.
Caffeine is a huge part of my life.
3 or 4 cups
man.
of coffee a day.
I had 3. I had 3 today. I cut down to 1 in November. I think I did 1 a day, maybe 2 a day. November, of course, is the month that all of us have our November challenge.
You drink black coffee?
Yeah, I only drink black coffee.
Okay, I do as well, and I don't feel bad about drinking coffee because it's no calories. It's basically nothing.
It's another just fuel, but it's the caffeine, man.
The caffeine doesn't really get to me.
For so
like
long.
It's just kind of like the routine of it a little bit more.
Yeah,
like I just like having a beverage.
If I don't have the caffeine, though, I notice it. That's what sucks so much. Well, it doesn't suck, but I
mean, it's a addiction in the most like non-harmful way.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, it's not like a vice where you're addicted to something that's actively working against you.
Yeah, that's true.
There's very little that coffee does that inhibits. Like, it's a good source of fiber. It has no calories. It's really not that bad for you.
Do you eat breakfast every day, or do you
I'm not a breakfast guy?
Okay,
I'll sometimes. I'm not opposed to breakfast. I would love to have breakfast every day. It's just a convenience thing. I don't miss it, and I would rather do other things with my time.
I can hook you up with a really easy, good breakfast, man. Quaker Oats instant oatmeal. Half a cup of water, and then you put it in the bowl, you microwave it for 1.5 minutes, and then you can eat it like that. It's so fast. You don't even have to really clean the bowl. You can just soak it and then deal with it whenever you get home. It's super easy to just clean it, like scrub it like that. So I have a coffee pot. Do you have a Keurig or a coffee pot?
Coffee pot.
I have a...
At home, I do a Chemex.
A Chemex.
Yeah, just to pour over.
I have
just because I drink 1 cup when I'm at home.
Yeah,
and I'm rarely here, so
I make. Well, I have one that I can do a timer on it. So I make it before I go to bed.
Okay.
And then I set it to start. Well, I work 8:30 to 5 during the days.
Understood.
So I set it to brew at 7:30 every morning that I have that shift.
You wake up to that smell?
Yes.
Sure enough.
I wake up, I take a shower, I go downstairs, I put my instant oatmeal, and I get it rolled. I normally have the bowl, and I have the packet ready for it, so it's less friction, as easy as possible. So I get it, and then while my stuff's going on, I pour my cup of coffee, and I go ahead and I turn the coffee pot off. I rinse the thing out, and I throw away my grounds. That way it's all done. My cup of coffee's cooling down. Eat my breakfast. Get a full glass of water. Full
That's
glass
important.
of water. You got to have that full
Especially
glass
in
of
the
water before you go
wintertime.
anywhere.
That indoor heat will dry you out.
Yeah, man. So I get that's my breakfast routine. And then when I get to work, I eat lunch around 12:30 to 2 is my window for lunch. And I take a 30-minute lunch. We get a 30-minute clocked out lunch, which is fine. And then we get like 15 minutes clocked in that you can just kind of hang out. So I normally turn it into like a 45-minute in total break, which is really all I need. If I had a full hour, I feel like if I had those extra 15 minutes, I would be checked out for the rest of the day. So I kind of dig my 45. I guess I'm really settling into the whole
Routine.
the rat race routine. It's not really a rat race, so when it feels like you're not pushing a broom all the time at work. Did your alarm system just go off for the front door? What was that?
I think the wind blew the door open.
Oh, the wind blew. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Well, it doesn't latch all the way.
Okay, I gotcha.
Spooked me a little
that
bit.
freaked me out a little bit,
Spooked me
bro.
just a little bit. I
Yeah.
could feel a palpable energy in the room.
Yeah, dude,
I'll go take care of it.
My hair stood up just a little tiny bit. Well, I guess I'm just gonna keep talking about my my food routine. I wouldn't say that there's any type of rat race we got going on with the jobs that we have. It would be more of a rat race if all we did was just work. But you have the gym routine. I have a little bit of one, and I'm starting to get into a better habit of editing because I've got not a great body of work done. I don't have a whole lot of stuff that we've recorded. I've got a good bit of things that have been recorded now. So I try and, if I have an off day, I don't really edit on my days that I have work. Unless I get home and I've been thinking about it all day, then I'll go straight to the computer and start working on stuff. But this computer, as much as I love my laptop, it really cannot handle too much. So, I mean, I have like a good routine. It's been tough in January. I don't know if it's been like this in Birmingham as it has been in Nashville, but dude, the sun disappeared for, I think, 2 straight weeks. That I think might be the longest that I've consciously not noticed the sun. You know, in Auburn, we were at Weagle all the time, so we were always inside. We were always around people. We always had that goal. And we have a similar goal, of course, of what we do with work, but I get to go outside. And when I get to go outside and I can't see the sun, I don't know, man, it gets to you. It really does. And I'm kind of, what? Was meal prep our segue? Were we going to segue into something else?
Old train tracks.
I feel like there was something else we were going to segue into, though.
Coffee.
Caffeine. Is that it? Caffeine. That was it. That's what we were going to talk about. I love me some caffeine. I had 3 cups today. I had one in the morning, and I like to have another one when I get to work. Coffee is a big part of our job because I work in a place where we have multiple departments running around. There's different people with different places that have coffee. We've got like our tech team who has their own coffee set up in their offices. We share like the same kitchen with the retail, so like the gift shop. So I got to give a shout out. I won't name drop her, but if she ever listens to this, she'll know how much I appreciate her contributions to just the coffee effort that was this past month. So for the past month at the house, they've been doing construction on the stage, and it's all wrapped up now, but our food and beverage people weren't really around to order coffee. So we were SOL. We were up creek with no paddle in the coffee department. So we had some team players come in. So I had to recontribute the effort. I had to buy some coffee to spread it around, share the wealth. So I've just gotten into having those 2 cups a day. Get that second cup when I'm there. I don't always need the second cup when I go in. I just like to have it. It just makes my day a lot easier. I'm less grumpy with it. I had a third one today at like 4:45, right before I got off work, because I knew I was going to be driving 3 hours, and that was a great cup. I'm still feeling the caffeine a little bit from it now. Caffeine hits me way stronger later in the day. It has something to do with cortisol. My mom knows more about cortisol and how that stuff works and how it affects with caffeine and all that. But I don't know, man. I love coffee, caffeine. I'm trying to get better about drinking sodas. Do you drink soda every day? I feel like you're not a big soda drinker.
I used to. I would love to be a big soda drinker. I used to be a big soda drinker, and I really tried my best to stop. Usually at restaurants, I'll try to get a water now. That's how they get you. Like, if I'm at a Mexican restaurant, like, it's on. If they have those big, like, barrel-sized cups with the ice, I'm getting a Diet Coke.
Dude,
like,
yes.
There's nothing like a nice fountain Diet Coke. But
I've
gotten a lot better about drinking cans throughout the day. And, like, when I'm at home, I drink. I've gotten better at, like, when I'm having a meal, you know, like, you eat, and then you want to, like, wash it all down. So you have a bunch of big gulps.
Yeah.
I've gotten way better in the past year of making those big gulps like water, like suck it all down with water, and then like you can have a few sips of like Coke after that.
Yeah.
But like I'm off washing stuff down with soda because you drink so much.
Oh yeah, it's so gross too when you wash it down with a soda. I remember
I've started getting those the 8-ounce the mini cans and like
the ponies.
Those are like that's like my treat for the day. You know,
a little treat.
Just like I'll have it like either after lunch or on the way home or.
I had a Diet Coke yesterday. I don't really. I drink Dr. Pepper.
I drink them a ton. On like if I'm on a road trip, that's like calories don't count if you're in a car. So
yes, that's very.
I mean,
true.
no calories anyway because it's Diet Coke, of course. But
yeah.
There's like it's hard for me to pass up.
But apparently it gives you
Coke.
brain damage. People loved. What is it with that old
pseudoscience cope? Is what I think.
Dude, that's the
let
dumbest
people enjoy
stuff
things.
ever. Like, oh yeah, if you drink Diet Coke, you're more likely to get dementia and Alzheimer's. Shut the hell up. Let me enjoy my beverage.
I'll risk it. It's good.
It tastes all right. I mean, Diet Coke's not my favorite. I like Coca-Cola more. When we went to Alaska, man, here's my first of many references to the trip where I peaked in life. I remember I got some Mexican sodas for one of the nights we camped. And I was like, I can't just go to a grocery store. We're out in the middle of damn nowhere. This is really going to be a commodity soda. Like, I can't just expend this thing. And it made me realize a lot more about how, dude, there are so many people that have never even had that before.
That's right.
200 years ago, they ain't got soda, did they? I feel like they didn't. I feel like Coca-Cola
not only
was
people
the first
that
big
exist
one.
right now, but people that have ever existed. Think about that.
There's something nice about a good soda. I don't even know if I said I didn't have a soda today. I did have one. I went to Popeyes for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I dig some Popeyes.
Popeyes is good.
Popeyes is awesome. What do you think about the chicken sandwich? Better than
like
Chick-fil-A?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Interesting. Chick-fil-A, well, you know how I am with Chick-fil-A, man.
I know.
If I could have a sponsor,
if I knew one
Chick-fil-A
thing about
would.
JP,
yeah, you
it's
can
how he
count
is
on
with
me
Chick-fil-A.
eating Chick-fil-A or Popeyes. Just chicken. Chicken is my favorite thing other than steak. I honestly might even like chicken more than I like steak.
Nice.
Everyone likes steak though. I like chicken because, dude, me and chicken wings. We know about Moe's Monday. We'll do a whole other episode on Moe's Monday.
Yeah.
This is the first of many of the quarter life.
All will be revealed.
All will be revealed
in
the
due
future.
time.
In due time, nothing is written. Bless you.
Thank you.
Big sneeze.
Understood.
Let's talk about train tracks, man. Can I go first on train tracks?
That's right. Yeah, go ahead. Hit me.
We did not grow up in a town that had like a train running through town. There was one train track I specifically remember going across, and I'm going to go across it tomorrow. It's on Highway 225 in Baldwin County, Alabama. Me and my mom were on our way to North Carolina one time, and I think it was like the train was at the tracks. I don't know. I was freaking out, dude. I was like a little kid. I don't know why I was so nervous about this. But that was the first time I was like freaked out by a train. I actually work with a guy who's obsessed with trains, and I have no idea why I was weirded out by the train. But we had a train track right near one of my best friends from high school's house, and by his grandma's house. One of my favorite memories from the end of high school was we went to his house after school one day. We went to his grandma's house, and we just went over to the train tracks, started hitting golf balls down the train tracks.
Yep.
Just in the mud right next to the train tracks, just hitting golf balls. And then a police officer pulled up and just shouts over his loudspeaker, "What are y'all doing?" Like he wasn't like, "Hey, you can't do that." It was because you expect whenever a police officer uses their loudspeaker, like, "Excuse me, sir, you need to pull over. Please stop the vehicle." Dude said in the most casual voice, "What are y'all doing? What in the world are y'all doing?"
Now, just what are y'all doing?
Now, Jethro, tell me what. No, so this is Mobile, Alabama. This is Midtown Mobile. I can tell you exactly where this place is that we were doing this. And I know train tracks are cool, man. We used to just walk down them. Like these exact train tracks, we just walk down them. remember the same friend I'm talking about found an ID. Is this fella named Carl Lewis's ID, and he like held on to it for so long. It's an expired. I think it expired a few years ago, but that was one of our just random infinity stones, like in our friend group. It was a tome,
knick-knack, if you will.
That was a good one. I wonder if he still has a copy of that ID. But we found so many random knickknacks, tomes, things along those train tracks. Trains are cool, man. Trains will always be cool. Like I said, I have a coworker that's like legit into trains. He used to run a train at a theme park, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to dive too deep into it. Isn't that cool, though?
We have to dive a little deeper into that later on.
Maybe in the future. Dude, I wanted to ride the train when we were at the Montgomery Zoo. It was like one of those trains. It was a bigger train, like a choo-choo, like full-blown steam
realistic
engine.
chuffing noises.
Realistic. But I remember some other cool train tracks that I was hanging out by. This is such a weird thing to talk about. In Waverly, Alabama.
Oh, I know.
You know Waverly? The old
boogie.
The old boogie, old 280 boogie. We weren't even at the boogie. We were up at what's that place even called? 280, not 280 boogie. It's in Waverly, the Waverly local. No, that's the name of the restaurant. Dude, what is this venue called?
Sorry, pal.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm out on Waverly.
You don't know what the name of this venue is? Dude, what is this place called?
Not a venue guy.
Hold on. I'm going to have to get to this. But we were hanging out. I don't know. We just went over by the train tracks for the show just because, like, bro, check it out. Because I guess it's just a guy thing to be into trains. I feel like there's a lot of people that are into trains, but we was checking out the train tracks. Now, you go. I want to hear what you have to say about trains, and I'll find out the name of this venue.
Yeah, so, of course, I lived and now live back in Birmingham, which is a huge rail hub. In fact,
Standard Deluxe. Sorry,
Standard
there
Deluxe,
it is.
That's right. The whole city is actually bisected by a big row of railroad tracks. So it's inescapable when you live in Birmingham. You can hear them pretty much anywhere. We have Railroad Park. We got the whole railroad thing. We're an old coal and steel town, so come to the territory.
Iron City, right? It's not Iron City. What
Iron
do they
City's
call
a
it?
venue.
What
We're
do they
Magic City, but
Magic City? No, what is Birmingham's thing? The city of
no, I mean it's iron, steel industry. It's one of the few places in the world that all three components of steel are found naturally.
No way.
That's right. So
guess that's why they built.
As a result, plenty of train tracks, big rail hub. In fact, the rail through Birmingham predate even the name Birmingham itself. Birmingham didn't even come around until after the Civil War. But all this is to say, plenty of train tracks everywhere. We're also a big coal and steel and heavy industry town, so there's a lot of old mills everywhere, a lot of old warehouses, a lot of the old downtown area, or the revitalized area. You know, the places that are like breweries and axe throwing and that type.
You can
type
call
of
it
stuff.
gentrified.
Yeah. You know where those type of people hang out.
Yeah.
A lot of like $14 cheeseburgers. You know the type of place.
What is it with those damn $14 cheeseburgers? That come
fries
out
are
on
extra.
That, on
come
that
on
silver,
now.
on
it's
that
all like if you wanted to get it to go, it comes in that little paper box. You know the one.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's ridiculous.
That type of place. So those are all in like abandoned,
21st century Birmingham,
repurposed old steel mill warehouses and what have you. So they all have bones of old train tracks that have run up to them. So the place that I like to run and walk runs alongside First Avenue here in Birmingham, which is the first road off the train tracks. That's why it's First Avenue. And so as a result, you'll be walking through the woods or through a clearing or whatever around First Avenue, and you'll be seeing it's almost like a mirage when you're walking through the woods. You can see it a lot better in the winter now than you can in the summer. That's why I've just now started to notice it. But there's like a scar in the landscape from where the old train tracks used to be. It's almost like the natural landscape has been molded by human interaction in a way that's not immediately apparent when you look at it, but there's a curve that cuts through these forests, and there's a curve that cuts through the ground, and I wonder why this road moves like it does. And like if you spend any amount of time around it, you can notice the impact of the old environment on the present day landscape.
I know,
and sometimes it's as obvious as, hey, there's literally old railroad tracks sitting here in the forest that have not been run on in 70 years, but sometimes it's as vague as, I wonder why this land is like a foot taller than the land next to it. It's because it used to be an old train platform.
I know exactly where we're going to go.
Scars on the landscape.
When you come to Nashville, there's this place. They got the $14 hamburgers. It is literally in an old like train, like where they used to build them or something like that. The guys at the place can tell you more about it. It's a place that has a bowling alley and it's a restaurant and a bar. It was the first place I went to when I moved to Nashville over the summer. Let me find it, bro, because this place has a phenomenal hamburger. One of the most important parts of it is the bun, of course. You got to have a good bun if you want to have a good hamburger. Because, dude, I make hamburgers like every week, like twice a week. Hold on. Let me find this place real quick. This is such an awesome place, dude. It's not the Hampton Social. Maybe it's called the Dogwood Social.
Things of that nature.
Things of that nature. Either way, it's a something social. Pinewood Social? That sounds more like it. Pinewood. Yeah. Dude, that's a phenomenal hamburger. And it's like a big center for old trains. You've been to Nashville, right?
I've been to Nashville quite a few times. I had that hot chicken.
To the Opry. Oh, yeah, they got a Hattie B's around the corner, man. I got a Hattie B's. Have I told you about the Hattie 3?
No, sir.
So, I used to eat Chick-fil-A like 5 times a week in college.
That's correct.
So, Root lives quite literally across the street from a Hattie B's.
Understood.
So, if I go there 3 days in a row, I'm oftentimes going to get Hattie B's three times in a row. So if I hit a three-peat of Hattie B's, I call it the Hattie 3.
Understood.
Just a full-blown JP moment right there is the Hattie 3.
What's your order?
I get the mild tenders because, dude, I can't go hotter than that. I've gotten hot before on accident, and I was like, ugh. Not really. It kind of kicked my ass a little bit. It wasn't too bad. I can't get that full-blown hot, dude. Root was the one that got me in on eating spicier foods at the Weagle 51.
I always get the hot, but sometimes...
Have you heard the news?
I've yacked up the hot a few times.
I won't eat something that I'm going to throw up. I want to enjoy
no, it didn't make me throw up, but it was a unhappy circumstance. Following.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you're getting at, man.
It hurts where it's coming up.
That hot chicken is so good, dude. Just like I'm getting on the chicken thing again. I like
that white
chicken.
meat. It'll change your life.
Have I told you about the Chicken Rich giveaway? I think I mentioned it to you over the summer.
I'm looking to get Chicken Rich.
looking to get Chicken Rich, friend? That was such a hard thing to sell people on. I didn't even sell it. It was a giveaway.
That's right. The common people just don't want to get Chicken Rich. That's what's wrong with this country.
Dude. It's insane. People don't want to get Chicken Rich. But at the Ryman, they do bluegrass nights in the summer. They do like 6 weeks in a row, where they'll do concerts down at the Ryman, brought to you, presented by Springer Mountain Farms. You ever had Springer Mountain Farms chicken?
Maybe unbeknownst to me.
It comes in like a blue package in the store.
I have definitely had that.
Dude, it is fire chicken. And they have this thing where they will send you in a cooler, like a year's worth, like freeze-dried, like frozen. What do they call that?
So what you're saying is that you can be chicken rich.
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, so we ran a little table. Me and one of the other interns and this girl that worked at the radio station, we would run the table, and people would come up. There were like the people that have been doing it for years. Like it's like part of their summer routine is to go down to the Ryman for the bluegrass nights and end of the thing. And those were my favorites because they'd be there every week, bro. We'd have people coming from like Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is just across the state line, and they'd come down because they knew that they had an opportunity and they'd won it before. Dude, it's one of my dreams.
They had a chance to get chicken rich.
That's a Nashville goal of mine, is to get chicken rich. Will it happen? Probably not, because there are so many people. We have hundreds of people.
People are clamoring to get chicken rich.
And do people lose their minds in the show when they announce it? It's awesome. It is so awesome. Nothing quite like getting chicken rich. I guess that's one of my goals, because I was talking to this fella over the weekend. I was like, I love Nashville. I want to live there until I feel as though I've left an impact in some capacity. Like Weagle, Auburn, I definitely feel like I left a lasting impact. I might be getting a little too big for my britches by saying that, but I checked off almost every single box at Auburn. The only one that I can think of that I didn't do was I didn't sneak into the stadium. That's one thing I already got to go on the field plenty of times with my jobs. So like I got to do that. I never had to do it to the point where I was risking like my legal record to sneak into the stadium. I know plenty of people that did. I know how to do it. I'm not going to give perfect instructions as to how to do it, like Chat GPT telling people how to bring drugs into Europe or anything like that. But that was the one thing I don't think I ever did at Auburn. I left a lot of other impacts, I feel like, especially with Weagle. Camp War Eagle, not as much. Maybe with my students, my friends now. They were my freshmen. They're all juniors now. I feel like I left an impact on them, so I'm happy I was able to do that. I'm kind of getting sidetracked, but I left my impact there. I want to find some kind of way I can impact Nashville. It doesn't even have to be big, dude. It's a massive pond, and I've made zero splash. I'm hoping in some capacity with doing this stuff. Like I was collaborating with some coworkers the other day. We're thinking about getting more into doing stuff like this. I've actually got an interview lined up with someone next week. So that'll be, February 15th, I think?
Week from
like
today.
That. Yes, exactly a week from today.
Yes, sir.
We'll be doing, yep, yes, sir. Yep.
Sure enough.
Well, dude, we're going on an hour and 50 minutes already. Is there anything else you want to get into? Are we good on train tracks? Do you want to keep going about trains?
We're good on train tracks. Let's we can stretch it out to 2.
Let me see. Yeah, we'll go for another 10 minutes. I'm trying to think what else we can kind of throw into here. Chipcast topics of discussion. Big picture. Well, what do you mean big picture? With this whole deal?
This big picture.
I mean,
small potatoes.
Small potatoes, dude. Those little baby potatoes. Those
the red
are the
ones.
Best. Yeah.
Low country boil.
Little tiny.
Old Bay seasoning.
Dude.
All over that.
Speaking my
all over
language
that
right now. Oh my God, yes. Now I'm thinking about potatoes. Where was I even going? So with the show thing, well, dude, I mean, we go, like, as you were saying earlier on, I was itching to get back after the shutdown. I've been itching to do shows. This show, if you can even call it a show, I think a dream, man. I mean, of course I want to get into voice acting, do video games, commercials, things like that. It'd be so cool to be a part of it. But have a late night talk show, like the DJP show. Do you know how that started before I started doing it during COVID?
How did it start?
I would go on Facebook Live during the Woodstock hour and set up my phone and just talk to family because they could barely hear the music in the background, which is why Sony was so mad at me for so long. They probably still are. So like half my videos on Facebook from me going live on there are muted because you can hear like Jimi Hendrix in the background. But it was basically a late night talk show because I would go on at 9 and I'd play my music and I would just talk about what's going on the whole time. Like I would talk off mic and I would talk when I was on there and I would talk during commercial breaks. And dude, it's just nothing quite like just hopping on the mic late at night with the fellas, especially since now we're all adults, dude. I'm sipping on a little blue moon under a blue moon over here. It's just nice to be able to get
There's
to do
nothing
this
quite
again.
like hopping on the mic on a late night.
And
that's what I'm hearing.
That's true. Like we used to go late night. We would go out to Sky Bar and then be like, well, what do we do now? I have an idea. Yeah, Britt's going to hear this and be like, you did what?
You would do what?
You would do what? No, Britt knows. Dude, what is this? The Whataburger breakfast bowl? That looks fire.
I'm kind of out on that. Sorry.
You're out on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really not my flavor or style.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. But, dude, Britt was a great influence on all of us. He's old now. Not really. He's like 31.
Casting aspersions over here.
Britt, if you ever
God
listen
damn.
to this, you know how much we respect you, man. You know how much respect we have for you. More respect than I have for a lot of people that I know. Not throwing shade at anyone, but I don't know. I have a lot of respect for Britt, of course. Where was I even going, man? Impacts, the big picture of the show, I guess. I just like talking to people, man. I think it'd be great to really evolve this into something bigger, especially getting into music.
It's the greatest story ever told is
the human experience.
The human experience, you know, getting down to the basics of communicating with one another.
Yeah.
And you can't take it for granted, the ability to so freely and easily communicate with one another.
Yeah.
Like we can and like you can with other people, and that's a natural gift you have, is being able to so easily communicate with others. And it's with so much focus on the material and the just
that's the greatest step that ever happened in human evolution.
That and bringing it to the present is that it's the one thing that it doesn't cost anything, but it adds so much value.
Yeah.
In terms of what you can get out of life, the ability to communicate with back and forth based on in comparison to what you can get from other sources, I think it's one of the most valuable ways you can. I mean, think about the best experiences you've ever had is probably just fun conversations.
Because we were chilling, we were having a good time. I've had some insanely good conversations in my life, man. Like conversations where I didn't even talk the whole time, just listening to people talk and just listening to their experiences. And I just want that to be a part of my life forever, man. To be able to do something like this I think is always going to be important to me. But I think what I was about to say a second ago, the conflict, this one hasn't really been a big conflict one. Depends on who I talk to. I'll get into really personal stuff and things of like mistakes I've made, choices I've made, things that I've done that have negatively affected me. It's such a conflict for me to just throw this on the internet. Because one day, man, my tweets are going to get pulled from when I was 12 years old of me hating on whole wheat tortillas.
One day our Zoom chats from Weagle staff meetings are going to leak. We're both going to lose our jobs.
Nah, I don't think that'll ever really happen. If they do,
I don't lose.
they weren't that bad.
Speak for yourself.
For you, maybe. I mean,
I don't lose too much sleep over it.
Yeah, I mean, all we ever did in the Zoom chats was about, hey, bro, that girl's cute. Like, okay.
Easy.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Whatever. I mean, see, now we're getting into the conflict thing, but
confluence of the minds.
The confluence of the minds. Was that me, you, and Davis? I think it was me, you, and Davis. It was
when we agreed on things. When we disagreed, it was the battle of the minds.
No, I'm talking about when we all three walked into Weagle at the same time one day.
I don't remember that, but I don't doubt that it happened.
I specifically remember all three of us walking in at the same time, and we were like, after you, after you, after you. Because we all came in from three separate directions. And I was like, whoa. It
truly was the confluence of the minds.
It was the confluence of the minds. But the closer I get to that line of like, do I want to put this out on the internet, is the closer I get to what people like. Because they like hearing the super genuine stuff like, yeah, man, I was thinking about, I'm not actually going to get too deep into what I'm about to say right there. But
keep it real.
Yeah, we keep it real, man. We give people what they like to listen to. What people like so much about my talk show, I'm not trying to say that people loved everything I did, but what people enjoyed about it was I talked about why I love the music. I talk about why I like talking about it. I talk about things like that, and I talk about my experiences, how it affected me as a human being, how it helped me grow. That's what people like. So I just want to continue sharing that, and I think that's all I've got for right now.
Can't be replicated.
Can't be replicated. Can't beat it with a stick. You know
Sure
what
enough.
I did last week or 2 weeks ago?
What did
and
you
I
do?
need to keep sharing this. I hopped on the Weagle alumni Zoom with the old fellas. Not they're old. Sorry,
you yucking
guys.
it up with the old
I
timers?
was, dude. It was awesome. And one of them even sent me a follow-up email afterwards about, he's like, hey, man, I'm glad you joined. I think it's a big step that you hopped in on there. And I know we need to get more of our alums in on it. Our age alums, our 21st century ones. Because we have a couple that are in on it, but not enough, man. We need more of us to get in on doing it. Because I was thinking about it. I told my parents, I was like, yeah, I was on the Zoom with the Weagle alum people, and they're like, well, did they ask you for money? I was like, no, and I could see that happening. But that's an organization, dude, I'd give them money. I wouldn't mind at all. Well, I mean, I'm gonna mind with my financial standpoint right now. In the future, I'm sure that that'll change if I make more money. Especially, dude, if I can get this off the ground, and not that it's not off the ground. I don't know, man. I'm okay with giving money to Weagle and Camp War Eagle. I want to do whatever I can to help out future Camp War Eagle students and future Weagle DJs. Because Weagle has more shows now than it did when we were there last year.
I know. I've heard tales.
I heard
tales from the hinterlands.
The elders, the alumni, the elders.
I've heard rumors from the front lines down there.
Yeah, they told me that we have even more. Because I'd be lying if I said I fully kept up with this year. I listen to the Why So Serious show all the time, dude. I love it. I'm sorry, Compact Discourse, that I haven't listened. I'm sorry, guys. I know I need to, because it's on at 8.
You're not missing much. I kid.
It'll never be the same as what it was. But that's the thing, man.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad it's not the same.
I'm glad that it's growing and changing. And the one thing I was honestly like upset when I found out some of the songs that were getting taken out this year by our current music director. But after I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Like, I am an old person at heart with my music taste. I made Weagle sound like something old people listen to. So I'm glad that we have new tastes in there for people for younger people. Because I like listening to music from the 60s, man. I mean, some of our DJs like 60s. A lot of them, I've noticed a lot of them like 90s and early 2000s music. Have you picked up on that?
No, I don't listen to music.
Yeah, forget that you're not a music guy. Well, I'm talking about what our DJs now listen to is a lot of 2000s and 90s stuff.
Like I said, don't know.
Don't know. Didn't ask.
It's all the same to me. It's all music.
It's all music.
Music fans when the song comes on.
Music fans when the song comes on. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up by saying shout out Weagle. I guess shout out Auburn basketball bringing us together. Shout out to I wouldn't say the Weagle shutdown was tragic, but negative things bring people together.
If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
The pandemic only drove us apart because of the news networks, and I'll leave it at that. No, I don't want to end off on a note like that.
Woke mob is taking over.
The woke mob. Oh, man.
Well, JP, I want to thank you for inviting me on your show.
Thank you, man. Thank you for
allowing me.
It's
been a minute since I've hopped behind a live mic, and I've really enjoyed the opportunity to.
It's a good time.
Talk freely with you.
Thanks for letting me crash on your couch. I'm sitting on the couch and I'm
Anytime.
about to be passed. You got the Fox blanket?
You can't manufacture this genuine of a connection between two individuals. I'd say
you cannot. You cannot if you tried. Do you have the Fox blanket around here? Oh,
yeah, I got it.
I see the purple blanket. The purple blanket's almost
Fox
even
blanket's
better.
right here. You'll be sleeping good tonight.
The Fox blanket kept me warm. Many an afternoon nap we're taking at BH.
Couch Monster.
We didn't really get into BH. We'll get into BH next. I might start taking
BH
notes.
and the Couch Monster. We can table that all for a later time. Just get excited for the next time JP rolls into my neck of the woods.
Oh baby, whenever you pull up.
Or I his.
Yes, the quarter life crisis. I don't even know what episode it's going to be. This will be a big part of season 1. I might even, since we're at 2 hours, I think I am going to split this into 2 episodes.
Two-parter,
because I'm going to do it like weekly. It'll be a season thing. I need to stop talking about the details of it before I completely falter whenever I actually post all this stuff. But I'm just P's, S's, and T's into the mic right now.
That's right.
That's a wrap. Thank you for listening.
Quarter life crisis. I turned 24 this month, so I will die when I'm 96. Mark your calendars.
Sure enough, I'm 23, so I guess that means I'll die when I'm do the math. 92?
I think it's 4.
94?
93? 92.
Whatever it is. I wasn't a math major. I was
You're
a
right.
liberal
You're 92.
major. Check
so
1,
sorry.
2.
So sorry for boring you with math. Bye.
That's a wrap.